Glad you came and visited us again today. Today we're going to do a fun craft called a raised salt craft. And because we're doing Jonah, I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and show them the pictures, Mr. Rick. I have some pictures online for you to download. They're gray because we don't want the lines to show. Or you can just do your own design. Make sure to download it onto cardstock, or if you need to, get a hold of me and I'll send you some. But what we're gonna do is you're gonna need salt, and you're gonna need some paint, a paintbrush and some paint. It's best with, you can watercolors, and if you have a watercolor tray thing, I ran out, so I don't have one right now. Or you can use food coloring. Just be careful to have something to drip it onto, and you gotta be careful so you don't stain anything. All right, make sure you have lots of paper towels, a cup of some water, and some white glue. You gotta have the white glue for this. And as you can see, I've already started to make one. And it's really pretty easy and pretty fun. So I'm going to show you right now what you're going to do. Okay, Mr. Rick? You want to make one while I'm doing this?
Yeah, I'll get started.
Okay. Take your glue. I'm going to open my nozzle up full. And then I'm just going to get started here and follow the line. And if you don't do it perfectly, don't worry about it. No problem. There. Now you got to have something to sprinkle your salt on with. So I have a lid here because I don't want to get it all over. You won't want to get it all over the table at your house. So, and I've got some salt here. So once I've glued it, then I'm going to put the salt on it. And don't worry about putting a little bit. You put a lot. Normally you just put all your glue on at one time, sprinkle your salt on. If you notice, I kind of let it sit there a second so it has a chance to the glue to absorb the salt. And then I'm gonna take that off there. And there I have one of my tentacles on my jellyfish here. And I'm ready to paint. So I'm just gonna use some, you can paint right away. You can let it dry if you want and then paint it. It's up to you, it doesn't matter. It works either way. And so, let's see here. The paint does need to be thin, so I am going to go ahead and put some paint in here. This is all we could find today, so we're going to use this, but I'm going to add water to it because it needs to be nice and runny and thin. There we go. And now I'm just going to go ahead and drop that anywhere on my picture that I want it on there. And I think I have some, the way I've been painting it is this way, so I'll continue to follow the same pattern. I'm going to drip it on. Get out of the lines, it's no big deal. There we go. And just drip that on. The salt just kind of sucks it up. Now it's going to be really wet for a long time. So this is not something you can handle and touch right after you get done with it, alright? Make sure you give it a good couple days to dry. So stick it out where the sun can hit on it and it can dry before you pick it up and do anything with it. How you doing, Mr. Rick?
Oh, just trying to open the child-proof container, that's all.
It's adult-proof, see?
Adult, okay.
Alrighty.
What if I don't want to grow up? Problems. Okay.
Alrighty, I'm going to continue with some green here. You can see I just used this piece of plastic for a palette, which is not a problem. You can use a plastic lid that might go under recycle or something like that. If you have to thin your paint, if you have a watercolor palette, you don't have to thin it. You just need to make sure your brush is wet with the color. And then we just drop it on wherever we want it. So as you can see, I thought I'd make a multicolored jellyfish because they really are really pretty and iridescent. Maybe even the same thing that Jonah saw when he was floating in the sea. It's a good thing though that God had him swallowed by a fish, because he probably would have drowned out there with him all by himself out there. So even though it might have seemed like a harsh thing, sometimes God has to get a hold of our attention if we're not being obedient. Just like Jonah, who in our story this month was not being obedient. So anyway, you just continue working like this, and remember to obey God, listen to his voice, and don't be like Jonah. So, but the good thing is Jonah, in the end, Jonah did obey God. So, all right, kids, you have a great day. Enjoy making your pictures.